Hello there, and welcome back to the next video in categorical data. So I'm going to go over to my categorical section and recall that categorical data is data that I can put into categories or groups. And remember, we looked at ice cream sales for 2 locations at a medical center and a mall. And then in the next example, I'm going to show you how to make a bar graph step by step. This is also just to give you another example and do some practice with this. But if you go to college and your professor says, I want you to make a bar graph for your data, I want you to have something to fall back on to know how to do that. And also, if you get this on an exam, you'll know how to read the graph. So let's dive in here and look at how to make a bar graph. First thing you would need to do is collect some data, and I have done that for you here. I looked at push-ups by a college cheerleading squad. So I didn't really do this, I'm just making this up, but I talked with a college cheerleading squad and I said, guys, how many push-ups can you do, guys and gals? And Jared said, I can do 21. Sean said 9. Ellen said 14. Helga 25. And Franco 15. So I asked these 5 individuals, how many push-ups can you do? And these were the data that I collected. So to make a bar graph, the first thing you need to do is to decide if you want to do a horizontal bar graph or a vertical bar graph. And let me just slide back a page. This is a vertical bar graph because the bars are going up and down. They're north to south. And you can do that. It's perfectly fine. In this one, I'm going to show you how to do a horizontal one just because I want you to see both. But one is not really better than the other, in my opinion. I've had some professors that require them to be one or the other. So if you have a college class and you're not sure, you want to make sure to ask. But for this particular one, I'm going to show you how to do a horizontal graph. Okay, so we are moving left to right. Our bars will run across the page instead of up and down. Okay. And the next thing we have to do is decide the range and scale for each axis. And the axis lines are just the lines that go this way and this way. Let me straighten that up. An axis is a line, so it's going to go up and down, left and right. We've always got 2 of them. So let's go ahead and draw a frame for our graph. And I'm going to just take a guess. I'm hoping I'll leave enough space. And you can do the same. I believe we'll be fine. So those are our 2 axis lines. And I think on this axis, I'm going to put the number of push-ups. So the vertical axis will be my people, and the horizontal will be the number of push-ups. Okay, and then on this side, we're going to list all our people. And I'm just going to go ahead and list them. I have Jared, Sean, Ellen, Helga, and Franco. And I can already see a problem here. So I'm just going to come over here, and if you can erase, that's fine. If you can't, don't worry about it. Just squeeze it in there. No big deal. I would always draw these with a pencil. That way you can erase. But if you can't, it's okay. We just want you to get the idea of how to do these. Okay. So it says to draw and label the axes, those are our lines, and add a key if needed. Now, if we were comparing push-ups and jumping jacks for each person, that would be 2 categories, so I would need 2 colors. But in this case, it's just push-ups, so I'm not going to worry about a key this time. It's only if you need it. I still need to get a scale on the bottom, though. So I'm going to count my dots from here to here and just see how many dots there are. So I'll draw them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So if it weren't for Miss Helga, we would be fine because we would have exactly enough dots to cover Jared's push-ups. We could do 21. But Helga has more than 21. And as much as I don't like this, this was on purpose. I'm going to have to scale this down so that I can fit everybody on one scale. So I know that I have 21 dots and I really needed 25. So what if I let each dot count for 2? So here's 2. Oops, didn't mean that. Let's zoom here. Let's see what we get if we let each dot count for 2. So here's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26. Remember, Helga has 25. So I think that's pretty well what I'm going to have to do. I can't let each dot count 1, so let's let it count 2. And you'll see what I mean, I think, when we start drawing in our graph. So let's say we need to label 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, and you could keep going if you wanted, but since I know Helga has the most at 25, I'm covered. So, okay, let's take a look here. Now we're ready to draw the bars. So Jared has, I'm going to start with Franco. I'm going to start closest to the bottom. Franco has 15. So let's zoom in here. And I'm going to start with Franco. This is important, guys and gals. This is 0. So you definitely want to start from there. So Franco's going to go all the way to 14 and then about halfway because he's got 15. And then make the other half of his bar and connect. And if you want to color, I just like to color. Especially on my iPad. It's just so much fun. So there's Franco. Okay, Helga was our winner on this contest, and she's going to go all the way out to 25. So I don't want to go to 26, and I just did, didn't I? Let's start here. That's a little bit easier. So here is this one, and go this way. So there's 25 for Helga. Do the top bar. Remember, we got to make a bar out of it because this is a bar graph. And if you want to color the bars, you could use different colors for different people. If you didn't want to write the names, you could do a legend with a color for each person. It's kind of up to you as the designer. Okay, Ellen, 14. So Ellen is going to land exactly on a dot. She is here at 14. So I'm going to start there and draw over. I'm going to color those in just a minute. But okay, Sean can do 9. right, so here's 10. So let's come back a half. There we go. And then Jared was pretty close to Helga. Jared's going to go all the way out. I'm going to have to do a little bit of, there's 22, so let's go in this way. Guys, a straight edge is your best friend right here. So, and then color those bars. So this is a horizontal bar graph. You can look at this and tell who has the most and the least. You could almost figure out your median and your mean and all that just from looking at your graph. But this one is a horizontal bar graph. And if you go ahead and look at the next page, we can do the problems and then I'll stop this video. So they want me to use that bar graph we just made to find mean, median, mode, and range for the data. So to get the mean, remember this is a two-step process. We have to add up the push-ups. So we need to add up Jared and Sean. And who was our next? Ellen, Helga, and Franco. Ellen, Helga, and Franco. And that is 5 people on the cheerleading squad. So we need to add up, all clear, 21 plus 9 plus 14 plus 25 plus 15 equals 84 divided by 5. So the average mean number is 16.8 push-ups. Now, I know you can't do 8/10 of a push-up. Mean is a statistic. It's just an estimate of the average. Some people can do way more than that. Some people do way less than that. But the mean number of push-ups is 16.8. Okay, to get your median, you need to put your scores in order. Start with the lowest and work your way up the line to Helga. The middle. Who is the middle in this problem? It's right there. So the median is 15 push-ups, and that goes with Franco. So they could give you the 15 or they could ask you his name. But either way, the median is 15 assigned to Franco. Mean is something you have to calculate. The mode. So let's look at 9, 14, 15, 21, 25. There is no mode because no two people scored the same. There's not a tie. So there is no mode. Remember, you don't put 0 because that means somebody can't do any push-ups. That would be me if I were in this list. But there is no 0, so the mode is none. And your range is always the most, which was Helga, minus the least, which was Sean. 25 subtract 9 is 16, and that is your range. So mean, median, mode, and range for your bar graph. This was a good exercise. We drew a graph. We figured out some math. Okay, in the next video, I will show you how to do a circle graph, I believe. Yes, we'll look at those and do some percentages on those. So I will see you soon for another type of categorical data. Have a great day.